Hi, Tanel.
Hey,
How are you?
good.
Good.
Yeah,
Business.
things are growing very rapidly, and it doesn't doesn't get easier. It only gets more complicated and more interesting at the same time. This is what drives me.
Okay. So you love challenges?
Yeah, of course. I mean, otherwise I would be bored and maybe look for some other direction. But as long as it keeps me growing also as a person, and going facing like new things that I haven't done before is great for the growth and personal growth, and keeps me also interested and not bored with my job here.
Okay. Speaking of new things you haven't done before, I suppose you never have a partner like Kirsan before in your company.
Well, yes, Kirsan is a quite high scale partner, but previously we worked very closely with another real estate agency here in Estonia, who was also one of the owners of the platform. So in that terms, I wouldn't. I mean, we've been working with Kirsan for more than a year now. It's not really something that new. I'm rather talking about right now about the licenses. We are in a process of getting one license. The application process is quite long, and there are quite a lot of unexpected things that we need to go through and do. And then, of course, the crowdfunding, not real estate. I mean, the EU overall crowdfunding license, where the financial inspection, the regulator doesn't really seem to understand fully the market participants and how their business model is made. And it's also quite interesting process, but not something that is like a walk in the park, rather quite challenging, and at the same time, like I said as well, like interesting, and learning a lot of new things.
You're going for a crowdfunding license?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Speaking of Kirsan, I was interested very much about this deal you made with them. I don't mean the partnership. You have it for maybe 2 years. I mean, Kirsan is coming like a shareholder now in Revinvest24 with not significant, but not insignificant percentage. It's almost 20%. So I was wondering, what is the reason for this deal? What is in this deal for you? I mean, for former shareholders in Revinvest24 and for Kirsan to want to go in this platform as a shareholder, not as a building partner.
It is quite a deep collaboration from the very beginning. Like I said, we're not just issuing a loan against collateral to them. We want to be more involved. We want to be more like a partners in their projects, not just a middleman that is between the investors and their projects. So in that sense, now this deal together with ownership is that from the Revinvest side, we get deep knowledge in construction fields. From Kirsan side, Kirsan is a company with a huge experience and great track record. And Kirsan works on several markets in Europe, making it also easier for us to expand to those markets. Also giving Kirsan small ownership of the platform will assure that they will not accept our competitor offers, even if it means better loan terms for them, because the real estate crowdfunding market the competition is quite high, and Kirsan has been approached by several of our competitors, offering something better to them than let's say lower interest rates, for example, or higher LTV, or something that give some more benefits. They're trying to get like, for example, even a state code. It's hard for them to find the volume of projects, good quality projects, And it's very valuable to have someone who can produce you this kind of volume of good property loans. So competitors are, one of the main reasons actually why we needed to secure this. And also we're implementing our own projects, and we want to do those projects in partnership with them. So they are subcontractors. We bring them also a lot of work, and we support their growth with that. And this is their benefit, and they don't only benefit from the development projects in the construction field, but also they benefit from the growth of the platform. And all together with our developments and the volume of funding that we bring them from Reinvest, it also supports their growth and expansion plans.
I see. Okay, but there was a platform called Kirsan Invest ES in Spain. What about this platform? How it fits the deal? It looks like Kirsan already have some crowdfunding platform, and who provides the technology for this platform? Is it Reinvest white label or something? It doesn't look like this. It's looks like a different platform. And
yes, it has nothing to do with Revinvest24. And to be honest, they actually had it even before we started working with them. They had it already 2 years ago. For some reason now, I've heard more. Probably they're getting some exposure. They're making some maybe marketing activities, or it's like coming up, because I've heard other people also asking from me about this platform. But I actually saw it already 2 years ago, maybe around that, before we started working with them, or at the stage that at least at the stage where we were doing due diligence about them. But the thing is with it seems like a great idea if you have the means to put together. I think that it's not a white label platform. I think it was developed for them, quite expensive. But understanding, especially maybe from the people in the construction field, is that you just need to get the platform up, and then the investors and the funds will start coming in. But it's actually not the case. It's quite far from that, especially the first couple of years. It doesn't go that smoothly that you just put it up there and people will somehow find you. It's quite challenging task, and considering that they have been doing it as a side business. The main business is the construction works and the developments in different regions, which already takes a lot of focus. But to make your own platform and to get the ball rolling, you can't take it as a side business. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of focus, a lot of time, and even then there's a chance that you fail in it. So it's not been working out for them in a way that they were hoping, and this is also one of the reasons why we were able to make this partnership with them, as they see it themselves that it doesn't work that way, that you just put some IT solution up and put your projects there and just things will happen. It's not going to happen like that. So like for us, it's obviously now that it's coming up, it's a bit it's not the most preferable situation, people asking about it and so on. But at the same time, we haven't put any restrictions on Kirsan, how or where they get their external funding. Same as for us, we are able to work with other developers as well. We don't need to only take their projects and so on. So we still have our freedom, and they still have their freedom, and they choose what they do. But yeah, this is the short story of that.
Yeah. Okay, I see. So it's a kind of open marriage, which is quite good. Yes. And beneficial for both sides. I actually was about to ask about do you have any exclusivity to work with Kirsan? You just answered that there is no exclusivity. Okay, I read in your PR that strategic partnership with Kirsan brings more security to Revinvest24 projects. Could you please elaborate on this? I don't see direct connections. What are the benefits of being an owner in Reinvest which brings more security for investors. You have same structure, same SPV, same partner, and what is more offered in this case?
Well, I would say that, as I already mentioned a bit before, it's mostly about that we are not just the middlemen funding those projects, but we are more involved in those projects now. We were already before, but now we have taken it to the next level. We have deeper insights into their business activities, how they operate. Let's say, like the construction materials, the logistics, all those insights. And as we're doing our own development projects as well, it makes us both stronger. We also have more power in the decision-making process related to the projects that we have in our portfolio. And, altogether, we're not just middlemen here. We are working together with them. We are getting their insights in their business fields, and we are doing those projects together, not just giving the funds against the collateral. From outside, it's kind of hard to make it a bit like to make the structure different, as 50% LTV interest rates that we can offer with Kirsan projects in Moldova are already pretty much the best you can get. It's very difficult to make some additional layer there, but it's more about how things are being operated. Let's say that the behind the scenes side is where those risks are actually lower for the investors. We have better understanding, more insights, let's say some things that's in otherwise you will never get. I would say also that the live cameras that we just put up to our blog section is something that no developer will accept to give you. And you get.
It's not the case. I remember one developer that gives me these cameras, and it was Groupier. I didn't want to mention the platform.
Okay. Better not mention that.
I already see the cameras, and this is not very good for investors at the end.
Well, bad experience,
cameras,
bad experience with one player,
yeah.
but in overall, it's the insights and the more details that we get.
Sure. I don't want to compare in any way Reinvest with Groupier, but because you said that this is the first case developers.
I actually didn't know about that.
It was their promenade project, the first one on the platform. I mean, the first for me. It was big real estate project, and then they started even bigger, which is actually a very big hole for a long time, and then they go. Actually, I lost some money. It's a rare case in platform that I lost some money, but Groupier is one of these cases. So there was such thing with cameras, but it didn't end well. I hope.
Okay.
I don't want to make any comparisons again. You said you will have a lot of insight about the operations with Kirsan, and I'm wondering what is behind the Kirsan Swiss, the company Kirsan Swiss, which is actually the shareholder. I check a bit about the company, and it looks like it's a shell company without any personnel and real operations in Switzerland, and just registered as a trustee company in Switzerland. Why this way of operating? What is the purpose of Kirsan Swiss in the structure of Kirsan Holding? Because actually this is your actual shareholder. It's Kirsan Swiss. Yeah. What is behind this?
It is basically a holding company similar to Revinvest Holding. They also a lot of SPVs are owned by that company that implement those projects. For Moldova, there are 5 different SPVs that we know. There are many in other regions, and it's a similar structure that SPVs are the companies that are owning the projects and implementing them. And Kirsan Swiss is one of the owners of those. Mostly it's around 80 to 90% ownership in those projects. And it's a similar structure like we actually have, and what crowdfunding platforms are using, where you have an holding company, and then you have all those SPVs under that in different areas for different projects. And also in our case, the platform is under Revinvest Holding as well. So, and we are evaluating more actually the projects that are the project owners, the SPVs, I mean, that are the project owners and are implementing those projects. This is there is a lot more insights there, but yeah, Kirsan Swiss is just a holding company.
So it's more like holding the assets until
Yes.
they are sold and the building is completed. Okay, because actually I have a lot of questions about the structure of this Kirsan Holding company, because it looks to me like spaghetti with a lot of interconnected companies and a lot of daughter companies and things like that. Could you give us some more information about the Kirsan? What's behind the company? What is the idea? Who are the main players in this company, and what's their background? I didn't understand if they are from Moldova or from Romania or from somewhere else. I know that they have a lot of deals in different places, but actually I love to see some deep insight in the roots of the company, because there is always people behind the company. So who are the main people? It's not a public company, it's a private company. So I suppose there will be not thousands of shareholders.
Yeah, there is actually just one owner actually that owns 100% of Kirsan, and those SPVs have some small ownership of some local partners that they give, but Kirsan is usually owning 80 to 90%. It's pretty typical. Kirsan is owned by one person. It's Sergiu Koman is the name. We actually introduced it also in our blog section. He's a Moldova citizen who lives in Switzerland. And so basically all those companies that are actually building and doing those construction works and also owning the land and doing everything related to the developments are those SPVs, where Kirsan in most cases is 80 to 90% owner. The rest are some local partners who he's doing those projects together with. So it's quite simple structure, at least for my opinion. But you know, if you have some particular questions or something more specific, then we can go over that as well. But this is how they operate. This is the big picture.
Yeah, very big family, let's say, of companies, and I was wondering why. Okay, I get the idea. Actually, they have a company for almost any project they started, any big project maybe.
Yeah, at least.
Or most of them. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but behind this is just one person, and this is this guy from, you said it's from Moldova, but lives in Switzerland.
It's a Moldova citizen, yeah, but he lives in Switzerland. He's a resident there.
Okay, great. Okay, speaking of Moldova, I always curious about the real estate market there, because it looks like you bet heavily on this market, not just with Kirsan, but with your latest project, which is actually in this project, you are the real investor. I mean, you are the real entrepreneur in this project.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
And, I was thinking to give us some ideas how you expect to develop the situation in Moldovan market, because it looks to me a little bit worry. I mean, in terms of growth, when some markets started to grow very, very fast, it's always, for me, it's always a warning sign, because it may easily become a bubble. Who are the real customers in Moldova? Is this Moldovan citizens that getting richer and want to upgrade their homes and their houses and things like that? Or these are mostly investors which want to have this real estate projects mostly for coming some income on reselling, because I saw this situation in Bulgaria before we came in, was accepted in the European Union. There was a crazy bubble in Bulgarian real estates, because a lot of people thinking that people from Ireland and the UK and Germany and Switzerland will come to Bulgaria and live very happy in some remote villages, which has never happened actually. And these guys were beaten quite hard for the market situation. So I want to have some insight, not statistical data, but real insight from being there. I saw the statistical data. They are looking pretty convincing and a little bit worrying for me, because I always become cautious when some things look too good. So give me some insight on Moldovan market. I mean, from your operations there, the most important thing for me is, what are the customers from these new buildings? Who are
they are they are locals actually. I think that it's a bit it's a bit early still for expecting too much foreign investors to start pouring money there. The whole market is in the development stage, especially when we talk about real estate, and also like moving towards the EU will open a lot of doors. But so far, that as much as I've also talked with some of the investors who had interest to actually buy their own real estate in Moldova, they said it's way too difficult for them to go there and do it. It's the notarial systems there are a bit different. I would say that they are quite behind, and they're not really supporting the growth that they're having right now. They definitely needs to be upgraded. And you know, a lot of those investors that I talked to that had interest towards Moldova and wanted to invest actually came to the platform and started to invest through our platform to those projects, as it's just that much easier. I think it's a bit early to expect too much foreign money there, but I think I can be wrong, but I believe that it's around half of Moldovans are working abroad, and you know, the market growth, it's not something that we just see in Moldova right now. If we talk about real estate prices, we see the similar growth in Estonia. We see pretty much not as big as Moldova, but quite big growth also in Spain. So in overall, real estate, I think it's caused by the inflation, which is already starting to kick in, and the money supply that is coming into the circulation. The real estate markets everywhere are growing and quite rapidly. And this is actually one of those environments, I would say, that we never really had before, to draw any comparisons from the history, from some other bubble situations. Central banks have never reacted to a crisis situation the way that they are doing it now. And you know, in Estonia, I can say that the real estate prices, at least residential real estate, is crazy. That there is that demand at that price level, and the demand is still very high, even though the prices have jumped more than 20%. Everything gets sold out very quickly. And you know, if you look at the other side of it, it's the consumers' purchase power that's actually driving the market. In Moldova as well, in Estonia, the prices, the salaries have actually been growing faster, the average salary, than the real estate market prices have been growing. That means that the locals actually afford more real estate now with those current higher prices than they ever did before. And maybe only one direction in the foreign money and let's say investment type of money coming to the Moldova are some big international companies that are moving some of their operations to Moldova, in expecting for the EU, expecting them to get to the EU soon, so they will be already in place for that time. You know, EU doesn't is not necessary for all the operations. You can already, we can see that some bigger companies are moving some parts of their operations to Moldova to optimize some of their operational costs, bringing more jobs there, and offering quite good salaries. That makes the whole market, we need to move the salaries higher. The locals are actually more coming back to Moldova than now. Before previously been working to UK, in Germany, all these higher income areas. They are now in a position where they feel that they can find a job in Moldova as well that can support their families, and that they are actually their purchasing power is higher than the people who've been living in Moldova. So they're coming back to Moldova now, and they want to have a nice home for themselves there. The prices compared to the UK and Germany, it's still like you can basically, if you're living in a one small studio apartment in London, then you can afford like a big luxurious penthouse in Moldova. Basically, the costs are similar. So this is where the purchasing power is coming, and this is actually what's driving the prices on the market. And I'm also like always trying to like follow everything to have a feeling if there is any sense of bubble or not, especially if taking like big project like this Metropolis IT apartments are. And to be honest, I feel that there is no sign of bubble at this stage. I think there is a lot of room for growth. I'm not saying that at some point it can grow into bubble, but at the current prices, I don't get that feeling yet.
Okay, it's good to know that. Speaking of your project, the name in the IT apartments, it's mostly because your customers will be IT people.
Yes, because in the Metropolis,
because the nearby park.
IT park is being planned and developed by Kirsan just next to the Metropolis area, and it's basically next to our building there. Yeah.
Nice.
That's the main reason.
I already see such situation in Bulgaria. It worked very well.
Well, yeah.
There was IT park, and the real estate prices around go crazy, actually. Okay. So the main thing for me was that you said that most of the real estate market are not investing properties, but properties that people will really use.
Yes, that is definitely the trend. That
this is, for me, is the main sign of a bubble, when the investing properties is more than, let's say, 10% or 20% from all the sales.
So yeah, it's not really the demand for actually to buy for living, what the purpose should be, right? It's more of just to invest in a speculation that the market will grow, or you will be able to gain some huge profits from that. But we don't see that. It's just the people who want to live there.
Okay, that's nice to hear, because I'm already invested in some tranches of your new project. Okay, speaking of inflation and the money that central banks pouring to, let's say, fight the COVID situation and maybe do some desperate for me things that I was thinking about the buffers you have in your projects. I mean, the construction materials are maybe doubled the prices or tripled somewhere. I mean, also the cost of construction versus continue growing. How you manage to, let's say, control the situation? What's your buffers in this area? I probably you started calculating the projects maybe when the prices were different, and they're up now. How we will manage to stay?
Yeah, but it's yes.
Is it possible to increase the price of the end apartments?
Well, the real estate market has been growing at the same time, at a similar speed. I mean, not like 2 or 3 times fold, but it's also that it's not been really a surprise. We already see last year that the raw material prices were growing very rapidly. But you know, there are always some alternatives. You don't need to go with those things that have been increased in price for 2-3 times. Most likely the queue just to get anything is already like months, even at those prices. So you need to find some alternatives in those cases, and we have already. I would say that it's not surprise. We already see last year that some raw materials were going very rapidly up, and the demand was, you know, the logistics were not able to serve the demand. So it wasn't really an option. But you know, some things you really can't. You can't really use any alternatives, and in those cases, we have already calculated in some buffer in our construction cost and in our budgets, and we're usually always trying to make our calculations very conservative, making those raw costs at the higher end and the sales at the lower end. So that even if there are always some fluctuations on the market, either on the real estate prices or the raw materials, so it's something that you know, you can't never be 100% sure that things will go as your estimated calculations. So I rather choose rather to go very conservative with the calculations, higher end with the materials and costs, lower end with the sales prices. So right now, in Spain at least, we haven't been doing construction ourselves in Moldova yet. So I can't say there exactly, but in Spain, the situation has not been changing much for us, to be honest. I don't see that we're going to need to increase the sale prices, but as we made the estimations for the sales already at beginning of the year, the market has already grown quite a lot, and we actually just and we are going to increase the prices still, and we see that the demand is there, and we don't need to be afraid of if the buyers are willing to pay more for the construction. I actually view it as a very positive thing that the construction costs are going up. It's going to keep the supply of those new developments under control. And it's also one of the factors that helps to fight against the bubble situation. Because in bubble, everyone is building everything and making money. Yeah? But and now the situation is where those who are really experienced, those who really know how to optimize their cost and do their operations, who have the experience to do it. That's why we need Kirsan as well. Those players on the market will be doing well, but let's say some one-man company that just wants to, you know, take credit here and there and try to build something. For them, the costs are really too much. There isn't enough margin. There is too much risk, not enough margin, and they will not go that road. So the supply will be under control thanks to the high cost of construction.
I see. Okay. It's nice to hear that. Okay, my last question is about future platform improvements you're planning. Can you tell something interesting for us?
Yeah, we currently are actually in a process, something that I think every investor will like. We're changing our fee structure. So instead of 1% entry fee, you will be able to invest the full amount and earn from it until the end of the duration. A project duration, and this 1% will be deducted from the repayment. So it will not be entry fee anymore, it will be exit fee.
Okay.
That's correct, yep. And those projects also on the secondary market will be with a bit different fee structure. So the seller pays 1% fee instead of the buyer. So it's yeah, some small changes also on the secondary market. And then we have two quite big platform interface updates that are being finalized right now. We're going to, first of all, the property section, we're going to migrate all the stages of one project under one property.
Yeah.
Adding their payment schedules for each property, the durations, also updates. so that everything can be, you can get the full overview from one place. You don't need to jump around between those. And also the secondary market deals will be viewed from under one property, not that you need to jump around between all of them. So it's making things a bit more convenient for the investors. And also the investment section will go through interface update. We're going to add there a lot more information about the portfolio, about the performance, about the updates, about the properties that you hold, and so on. And then there are obviously also secondary market filters that have been asked quite a lot, but we want to get over with those two updates before going to the secondary market updates. And then the loyalty program has been in work for quite some time as well. Since it applies to everywhere, it's again taking some more work to be finalized, and some other updates need to be live before we can go with that one.
Okay.
And auto invest for next year, that's already like, yeah, that's already for next year.
Yeah. This is good. This is good to hear. And as soon as possible, I would like to see these improvements, maybe in a few months or later.
The fees the fee we will change already. I hope to do it this week already, actually.
Oh.
And definitely by end of the year, the interface updates.
Okay, thank you, Tanel. It was very interesting for me, and I have good answers to my questions. Hope you enjoy the interview too.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for those questions. It's always great to give some insights. And remember, we last had an interview on summer. It's great to follow up and keep you updated on the whole situation.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.
One. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.